APLD continues to find that push, trying to get above that 29.45 level with price closing at 29.36. So we've seen some really nice price action today, guys. Continuing from this bounce of 21 back up to around that $30 level. We've seen the previous trading day some considerable selling pressure given that top wick, but then today, guys, we go ahead and challenge that again, closing at some of that wick and demanding that the buyers get over this resistance level. Where we get over that, guys, we're really clear to that $36 level slash those all-time highs of 40. All right, guys, take you to the weekly picture. We have a textbook, smaller pullback, and the long-term picture of things, right? We've seen stock ramp up after a ton of good fundamentals. We've seen APLD go ahead and beat their year-over-year revenue by around 85%. And we've seen additional funding for the company itself. We're just getting a ton of strong fundamental news, and that's what's been really ramping things up, guys, as buyers find more interest and security within APLD. That's why we saw a huge surge in volume, and it has been a pretty constant pace recently. But stock really went from nothing to something, guys. We were flatlined. It's not until this year itself where we saw that huge surge up to all-time highs of 40, and now we're seeing a smaller pullback. And we've had two very solid weeks given the overall market was pulling back here. Now the overall market is surging back up. We're seeing a really good response right now. So taking it back to the daily, guys, we have one-on-one technical analysis here of why we should be expecting that push to all-time highs. First things first, we have a obvious spot that is a little bit tough to get over given that this was the gap up level, right? There's not a whole lot of resistances here to actually hold us back, and this really isn't any real resistance. It's only the spot we kind of gapped up and gave us a little bit of trouble on that previous day. It's an obvious spot where we kind of claimed that there's really nothing holding us back to that 36.39 where we saw a little bit of trouble, lots of wicks over that, and then to that $40 level. There's two things that we know, guys. We have one, momentum on our side, which is huge in the stock market, right? When the sellers were pulling the market down, we've seen a continued momentum shift to the sellers. The sellers had that whole momentum, but what stays reactive this past support that really led us all the way up, going from 21 to 40, guys. We see a very fast surge after finding that support level. We calm down here, guys. We find this ascending profile, and better yet, we find that 21.05 being that bottom spot for stock to kind of come back down to, build that energy, find that bounce to see this drastic, huge move. And what do we see, guys? Right here, exactly at that spot that we saw here, hold up as support, and now bring us up, shifting that momentum to the buyer's favor. So this is important because this game is very much built off a lot of momentum, guys. And now we're seeing a narrative where the sellers try stepping in at a spot they could very well step in. Now we're going ahead countering that with a stronger green day here, pressing right up on that spot, looking for that claim. And if we get over that, guys, like I said, there's nothing really holding us back technical analysis wise to the all-time high area. Flip on over to the hourly, guys. We saw that little test and we did hold much higher, kind of creating a stair step pattern, right? Move up, chop sideways, false pullback, move up, small little false pullback, move up, small little pullback, move up. So we should be seeing, guys, that spot hold up as support, continuing the stair step pattern. Of course, volatility can go ahead and be increased. We could break this level and boom, see a nice surge. But all in all, guys, we have that momentum and we're seeing a very textbook stair step pattern. Now we're back testing and retesting that exact spot. So if we're, say in the morning a little bit gapped up, trying to gap and go or gap and retest and hold as support, we're in an excellent position. On the flip side, if the bears try to gain that control, we have some obvious micro support levels where we could be targeting, guys, right around that 2760 is kind of where we held up, leading to that smaller pullback and bounce and retest. So we're really at that retest point, guys. We just kind of got over that level, and on that last hour, just got below it. So it's probable that we could see price try to create a higher low, continue back up, try to break that. Could be playing around for maybe a day or two more before fully claiming that level. But the momentum and volatility that is on our side, it's likely that we also see a complete break, maybe back test it, but go ahead and continue this movement. Now, as we've been, very strong to the upside. 7 days of price action, we've seen about a 40% move to the upside. That is a huge momentum shifter, guys. And if we know anything about momentum, that is going to be our friend in the trend. And that's exactly what we could be seeing here, guys. A continued movement out, breaking a sharp resistance marker and going ahead and continuing up to those all-time highs. This could be the push that we need. But if the bears gain that control, watch for those smaller support levels to hold up. We've seen the overall market do a complete 180 quickly on QQQ, continuing that movement. A lot of people think, last week was such a historical Thanksgiving week. We're going to see a little bit of a pullback here maybe on the first couple days of the week, but that is not the case, guys. We keep on ripping up, getting above that resistance of 616. And same thing with SPY. We're pressing right up on the resistance of 684, closing at 683.89. So all it's going to take, guys, is, another day or two of push to go find and be in a position for those all-time highs. We're right there. We're knocking on the door in the overall market. And that's going to be a catalyst for APLD to go ahead and blow up, right? So the bears are due for a day. They could try to step in for a couple of days, but given this huge momentum shift within the market, guys, I think it will be a weaker attempt back downwards. I definitely think we continue to pull here, guys. End of month prediction for APLD. As long as the overall market can keep this surge up, all-time highs will be hit. I think that we found a strong pullback because of the overall general market. APLD has been getting a ton of very good fundamental news seeped into the stock, and all the technicals are great with that huge momentum shift. So this is going to be a point where we want to get over. It's possible that the sellers step in for a couple of days, right? But it would be nice to see sooner than later, claim that level, possibly use it as support or just blow past it. And then we're entering the levels between 29.45 and 36.39, where after that would be cleared to all-time highs. So pretty textbook, guys. We're at a very important point here. We've been very volatile, not only on the way up, but the way down. So we're pretty much due for that volatility to continue, just like it continued here. With that huge momentum shift, the sellers should not have any notable big pullback unless the overall market is going ahead and seeing a huge shift come the end of the week where sellers step in very drastically. If that's not the case, guys, APLD should be easily getting over this level, claiming it, and continuing its move up. That's the analysis, guys. If you enjoyed and want to see more videos just like this one, hit that like button and subscribe button. Don't miss an update. Let me know your price predictions in the comments below for APLD. And as always, guys, trade smart. I'll see you all in the next one.